Hello everyone, my name is Siyana, and today I'm going to tell you the recipe for the perfect team manifesto. But I guess most of you have no idea what this is. So in order to understand what a team manifesto is, first it's important to understand what team culture is. And in order to do this, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the story. It all started when I joined my current team in SAP, the Central Design team, and this is what I saw. I saw people who were very supportive, who were very united, and who could count on each other. And I thought that it was always like this, but it appeared that actually before it was a bit different. And some years ago, people were not so united. They were more like scattered pieces of a puzzle, and they went through many obstacles together. So in this moment, I started wondering what got them from this photo that you see now to the one from the previous slide. And it appeared that one of the main reasons was exactly the team culture. A few months after I started working in the company, my team asked me to create a new logo for the team, and this is how it looks like. You can see that now the pieces are back together, and inside you can see UXB, which stands for UX Bulgaria, and you can also see 2 pizza slices, which is not a coincidence because our team values food. But back on the culture, Peter Drucker said that culture is strategy for breakfast, and with this he didn't mean that strategy is unimportant. He rather meant that a powerful culture leads to good organizational success. So our task number 1 today is to understand the culture. Then task number 2 and 3 are to understand how to change it and how to build it. In order to understand the culture, we can check the culture web by Johnson & Shaw, which shows us the culture and all the elements that it consists of. And if we look deeply in each of these elements, we can see what works there, what doesn't work, and what needs to be changed. Another way to understand culture is with the book of Charles Handy, Gods of Management. In this book, Handy says that each organization, each major, are under the impact of 4 archetypal Greek gods. They are Zeus, Apollo, Athena, and Dionysus. Actually, Handy says that Zeus is leading by trust, Apollo is leading by bureaucracy, Athena is the goddess of problem solving, and Dionysus is leading by individualism. So actually Handy says that the most powerful and the most successful companies are not the ones who are led by only one of these gods, but the ones who maintain a good balance between all of them. And how it works in these companies is that when there's a specific challenge or there's a specific problem or situation, the organization and the management team put one of the gods in charge, and this is the god who can take the best care and in the fastest way can resolve the situation. So, enough for understanding the culture. Now, how do we change it? The first step to change the culture is to sit down and analyze the culture as it is now. Then the second step is to imagine the culture as we want it to be, like the ideal and perfect situation. Then the third step is to compare the two and map the differences between them. The fourth step is to make an action plan and be sure that this action plan is going to actually deliver our strategy. And this leads to the fifth step, which for me is the most important one, which is to measure differences over time. This is very important because we should know if we actually have the desired impact and if we're making the changes that we want to make. Something else that's very important when we're making changes in the culture is to always ask why. Because sometimes people had some habits that they have outgrown now, or they were doing something that made sense before but doesn't make sense anymore. And that's why it's important every time before we make a change to always ask ourselves, why am I doing this? And in order to understand how to build culture, maybe it sounds weird, but I'm going to tell you the story of the worst airline company in the world. So there the planes were always dirty, and the employees were yelled by management because the customers were complaining. And Gordon Bethune, who was the CEO of the company, went there and he said to the employees, you should clean these planes, but for yourself, not for the customers. Because the customers come here for only 2-3 hours. But you are staying there for your whole shift, which is like 4 more flights. So just do it for yourselves. And with this, he meant that we have much more impact on our culture and on our environment than we think we do. And finally, what's a manifesto? The official definition of a manifesto is a written statement declaring publicly the intentions, motives, or views of the issuer. But for our team, manifesto is something that shows who we are together, shows our team DNA, and we decided to make one every time when more than 2 people join the team in order to be inclusive. A team manifesto is important for a few reasons. First of all, it enables you to make consistent decisions. Also, it brings cohesiveness into the team, into the relationships between one another. And also, it helps you trust each other to respectfully debate and persist through obstacles. In our manifesto, we created a workshop, and in this workshop, we asked ourselves these 3 questions. What makes you proud to be part of this team? What commitments do you do when you show up at work? And what makes you most frustrated with your work? Each of us answered these questions, and we also voted for the ones that we agree with the most. And these answers we included in a book. A manifesto can be a poster or a banner or a whole website. We decided on a book, and inside of the book we left 2 free pages. So each of us signed the book, and each of my colleagues has a copy now at home. Inside of the book there are 3 categories: our values, our commitments, and our demons. And also the images that included are made with AI, because we wanted to optimize the process, which was 2 years ago, so AI was not so spread as now. And I actually bring one book with me, so whoever is interested, I can show you the physical copy of the book after the lecture part. And actually I wanted to say that the manifesto can include who you want to be as a team, what's important for your team, what are the commonalities in your values. But what's the most important thing is to do it as a team. So I'm getting confused when things are changing behind, but yeah, essential truths sometimes sounds like cliches, but teamwork makes the dream work. And I just want to use the moment to tell you that in exactly 10 days from now, on the 30th of October, I'm going to talk more on the topic. I'm going to tell more detailed things, and also there's going to be a discussion with 4 of my colleagues. It's going to be held in Bulgarian. I think it's important to mention. And whoever wants is invited. It's going to be online. It's completely free. And you can sign from this QR code here. And thank you a lot.